I got digital dash, can't ride with a I walk in the store and I buy the stock. I hide in the bins and pull out the lot. Got Tiffany diamond, it cost me a lot. They flying like birds, but drop on this hot. 400 degrees, I burned up the block. Burn out, make one call, they turn out. CC the gang, get the word out. When the shit getting hot, you the first out. Cover my wrist with a watch and I flood it with rocks. Now I look at the time all day. Be high, right through your block and I drop off the top. And I know you can see my face. You my dog at the end, don't care what the bitches say.
Leave a like on this video within the next 5 seconds for 2K to finally fix their servers. I would not risk it. Yo, what's up YouTube? It's your boy Fitz back here with yet another video. Today I got y'all with a very special video. Now y'all been asking, y'all been begging, what's the build in my intro, and I got y'all with that today. So I'm gonna be showing you guys exactly how to make it. And now I'm gonna do more than that. I'm gonna show you guys how I have it right now at 99. I'm gonna go over the bad setup. I'm even gonna go over the animations I have specifically for this build. And then I'm gonna show you guys exactly how to make it. Now I was gonna throw in a gameplay with this, but I feel like that was gonna be a little bit too long of a video. But don't even think too hard on it. I have a legend gameplay video with this coming extremely soon. If you guys want me to do this again with like my slash and playmaker, another build that I show a lot in my intro, but this is like the main one I've been showing in my clips and people been asking and asking, so I feel like I definitely had to put this one out. But yeah, if you guys want me to do this with more builds, I definitely can. All you gotta do is smash break and destroy the like button. But yeah, man, I got a lot of other things I can be doing. I got another part 2 for the wish list. I got some legend banger videos. I got build wars videos. These is videos that y'all really want to see. All you gotta do is smash break and destroy the like button. Subscribe if you're new. We're on the road to 100K. So if everybody new to hit that sub button right now, I really would appreciate it. But yeah, man, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop straight into it. Alright, so first things first when it comes to going over my build. First thing I want to go over, to waste no time, I want to show y'all what my build look like when I have it. So I have my build at 99. These are the attributes I have when it comes to the physicals, the finishing, the shooting, the playmaking, and defensive. So when it comes to my build being at 99, you unlock the ability to get all contact dunks. You have an 85 driving dunk. So when it comes to the pro, the small, the elite, you can have them all. When it comes to the 3-point rating, you have above an 80 3-point rating. Now there are other ways to make a build like this where you can have a higher 3-point rating, but 81 is low-key perfect for me. Now if you want to have a higher 3-point rating when you make a build like this, you can do it and still be able to get contact dunks. But for me, I wanted to be able to have, you know what I'm saying, the best contact dunks, all of them, not just pro, while still having my 3-point at an 81 with good defense. Because if you look at the defense, I have an 85 steal, an 81 perimeter defense, and a 79 lateral quickness. Now if I wanted my lateral quickness to be higher, I could get that higher if I wanted it to, but that's just kind of the way I did it too. Now when it comes to the ball handle, I had that to an 86. So at 99 I got it to an 86. I had the pro dribble moves off the rip and I still had the pro dribble moves, so that's really not a big deal. Now if I was making over, having pro dribble moves off rip, it's not really a big deal to like try to make sure that you get to an 86 on this game. You're still gonna be able to do all the momentums and stuff like that, so that would be my advice. Because when I made it, I tried to be able to get to an 86 ball handle, which is not necessary. Now, one thing that you gotta notice when it comes to people on your team having Hall of Fame floor general, which I play with a lot, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna get your 3-pointer up to an 85 with this build. Your ball handle is gonna be up to a 90 with this build. So it's gonna be a lot of different things changing and being for the better. So if my ball handle goes up to a 90, my speed goes up +4, that's gonna be a 99. My speed with ball is gonna be somewhere in the 95, not damn near to a 99 area. So yeah, I'm gonna be way faster with the ball. The one thing that holds this build back in comparison to a lot of the other meta guard builds is that this build doesn't have playmaking Hall of Fame or shooting Hall of Fame, but in my opinion I shoot perfectly fine on it. So yeah. Alright, so let's hop into the animation that I have on this build. So first things first, the most important thing is my dunk packages. So the main dunk package that I have on is windmill reverse. Now you can put on switcheroo, you can put on windmills off one, but windmill reverse is going to be, it's going to trigger the most, it's going to be the flashiest out of all of them. So if you don't know how Showtime works, it's going to get you the most for takeover out of all of them on a consistent basis, which is huge. And yeah, that's kind of my reasoning, and it's in my opinion the best one. And it's not only all that, it also gets blocked the least. For me, especially for me. That's the emphasis on it for me. Now, switcheroo, I know that's like the meta one, but windmill reverses is the best one for me. Now, when it comes to this, if you're looking at my dunks, you see I only have 2 dunks. Now, when it comes to how I do mine, I have a lot of dunks that I usually do, but what I've been using lately, and that's when I say lately, for the past month, I've been using only 2 dunk packages. Really, my main one, I put it at the last, so whenever I want to do that dunk package, I know what to do that. Now, I'm gonna go over the second one. Baseline versus off 1. Now, this one kind of changes up a lot. It's either baseline versus off 1 or baseline versus off 2. Now, I've been rocking with the baseline versus off 1 a lot lately, but I don't really even do baselines that much. I just put it on so I can actually have a dunk for baseline reverses. But yeah, I don't really do it that much because if you know, it doesn't really work that much, especially when it comes to layups. You missed it a lot on layups. But yeah, all the way for the last dunk slot that I have, I put my favorite dunk package in the game that's going to give me an automatic 2 every single time. Quick drops off 1. Now, I was telling y'all at one point, front clutch is a good one for 2 hands, but for me, it's not because whenever I go over with 2 hands, I want it to do the exact dunk package I want, and it's going to give me an automatic 2 points every single time, and that's going to be quick drops off 1. So yeah, that is my dunk packages that I use on this build, and in my opinion, I got the perfect setup for it. Alright, so hopping into the dribble animation. Now, this is going to be the last thing I go over for my animations. I already went over my dunks, so let's go to dribble. Now, when it comes to the dribble animations, I'm going to go over all these. I'm going to go over every single thing. So, right here, I don't know why this is not on, but I use number 4 right there, so I'm going to just get that out the way. But yeah, when it comes to my dribble style, I go quick or shifty, depending on what I'm feeling on. At the beginning of the year, I was at shifty. Middle, I've been using quick a lot lately, but it's kind of really whatever I'm feeling, to be honest. But you can go with either or. Pro 8, that's how I do my tween going up the court. So yeah, I gotta have that, and it has a good crossover. The crossover is not as good as Pro 2, but it let me speed glitch going up the court, so that's what I do. Put my behind the back, that's not really close. Go with Pro 3, not close. It's not close. Then when it comes to the move and spin, Pro 2, you can go Pro 4, basic 1. I don't even have Pro 4 on for whatever reason, but yeah, I have Pro 2. That's what I use for my spin backs and regular spins. But you can go Pro 4, you can go with basic 1. Basic 1 is kind of like the meta one. Pro 2 is what I use. Pro 8, that's the movement hesitation I use. Not really using anything else. Pro 1 and Pro 3 is kind of what I used when I first came back, but Pro 8, that's pretty much what everybody used, and I've been on it a lot lately. Signature size up. I know a lot of ISO people use Giannis. I just don't even really use this because it's kind of a bad move. On next gen it's good, but on current gen it's not really usable. Park size up, again, not really usable, so I don't even waste my time with that. Then when it comes to the basic size of the package, everybody uses Pro 2. I've told y'all many times I use Pro 3. That's how I do my little curry slide, little cancel, whatever I'm doing with that to even get my speed glitch. I don't do what everybody do. It's kind of different. If you want to see the tutorial on how I dribble and stuff like that, I do have a link to that. I have a tutorial for how other people dribble. That's in the same video. If you want to see that, link will be in the description. But then when it comes to the size of a skate package, Pro 5, that's the best one by far. You can go Pro 2 too, but Pro 5 is by far the best one. They both have curry slide, but this has a better explosive behind the back. Having curry slide is just, you have to have it on this game. The moves that replace curry slide on every single one is kind of bad, except for Pro 3, but like the explosive behind the back on Pro 3 is horrible. So yeah, that is kind of my dribble animations. And like I said, on the dribble style, I use number 4 regularly. For some reason, I've never changed it on this build, but yeah, I usually use number 4. Alright, next is going to be the contact dunks. Now, I tell y'all this every single time when it comes to this, but yeah, for the contact dunks, you really want to just put on every single one of them that you possibly can. It's going to get you a higher frequency, especially with a build like this if you don't go with slasher takeover. If you go with slasher takeover, it's not really going to matter too much. In takeover, you're going to get a contact dunk every single time. So if you want to just go with just elite or just elite and pro, you can, because small has some of the worst ones and some of the non-rare ones. But yeah, if you go with small, you're going to just get a bigger variety of a contact dunk. To have a contact dunk animation to be able to trigger in any situation depending on where you are, where the defender is, how fast you're going, all that type of stuff. So yeah, I just put all of them on so I can just get the highest frequency possible in this build. Now, we was talking about my slasher playmaker. I actually don't do that. But yeah, for this one, I definitely do. Then for my alley-oop choice for this build, I don't use both. I use only elite. Now, when it comes to the park one, I'm going to go over that later. Pretty much just use all of them. I'm not going to lie, but yeah. For the elite, 100%, I just use elite alley-oop. It's just gonna be the flashiest one, and whenever I go for a lob, I want to do something crazy. It's that simple. And I don't really go for lobs a lot anyway, so mainly only time I go for these is on fast breaks. And if you don't know, depending on which one you have, it's also gonna be deteriorating, or not deteriorating, but determining what your self lobs are gonna be. So yeah, and I really just put on Elite strictly for self lobs. Alright, next is going to be my layup package of choice. Now when it comes to my layup package of choice, I'm gonna go over this a little bit more when it comes to the bad setup, but when it comes to slithery finisher, that's if you know me, that's my favorite finishing badge from 20 and on this game. That's going to be giving me the best animation possible for every single situation. Go along with Kyrie. If you're on next gen, Circus is probably better, but I still like Kyrie more. But yeah, for current gen, by far Kyrie for me. It's just gonna get you the best animation possible every single time, and it's gonna make you do layups less, and you're gonna have a higher, you know what I'm saying, frequency of getting open layups. So you're gonna make your layups a lot more. Now, if you group Slithery Finisher with Giant Slayer, then it's gonna be way more overpowered, especially on a build like this because I'm not like tall. But yeah, Kyrie, the layup package I go with for of choice. Alright, next is these are my jump shot landings. I'm pretty much just gonna go over all of this at the same time. When it comes to my jump shot landings, these are what I do after 2. If you don't have this park after 2, MB after 2, you doing it wrong. You gotta let your nuts hang. If you made it this far in the video, put in the comments down below, let your nuts hang. I'm a no hoop peeping gang. Then when it comes to like the flashy pass, by far the best one is Swagger. I know you have to be a certain rep to get that, so if you can't put that on, go with No Look. If you can't get that on, go with Wizard. If you can't get those, just don't put one on. Then when it comes to the park dunks, I don't use any. The only reason you would put park dunks on is if you're having fun or if you're putting it on for showtime. I don't put it on for showtime. I use windmill reverses or windmills off one or switcheroos or whatever I'm using off my like regular dunk packages. So yeah. Then when it comes to the park alley, now let me stay on park dunks for a second. If you don't know, park dunk, they have a lot of different animations. The same reason why I don't use NBA player dunk packages. The reason why I don't use those is because they're gonna have 2 hands, they're gonna have 1 hand, they're gonna have all that. If you realize on my dunk packages, I don't have a 1 hand because when I try to go for flashies, a lot of the times it'll give me a 1 hand or it give me that. But when I go for my 2 hand, if I have on like a player dunk package, it won't just give me the dunk package I want, which is always the quick drops off 1. So that's kind of my reasoning for that. But then when it comes to the park alleys, these are the park alleys I go with. You can just put them all alone. There's no reason not to. They're all equally crazy. So yeah, that's not really a big deal. Yeah, last but not least is going to be the park layups. The park layups, they've never done me wrong, and I've had them on the whole year. I had somebody pull up on me on stream when I was playing with subs. He just kept spamming it. It was so hard to stop. I never seen nothing like that. So yeah, I really do love the park layups. I've known they were good the whole year, but I didn't know they were this overpowered. But yeah, it's really hard to get contests. Only way you can get it is if they just get the wrong animation, you block it. Because most of the time it's going to be a wide open layup every single time. I don't know why, but yeah. Alright, so let's hop into how to make the build. So when it comes to making this build, you're going to be at the point guard position. Then when it comes to the pie chart, you're going to go down to the shooting and finishing. Now this build is actually going to get the shooting and finishing, where finishing is going to be the only thing that gets Hall of Fame. And when it comes to the physicals, you're going to go with the speed pie chart. Then when it comes to the attributes, you're going to actually go down and make sure that you get your 17, your 14 with 6 finishing or defensive badges. So to get this build, you're gonna actually end up with 87 close shot, well, max close shot, max driving layup, a max driving dunk, then a 38 standing dunk, a max mid-range 3-pointer and free throw, then a 64 post fade, max pass accuracy, max ball handle, then a post moves of a 35. Defensive rebounding, you're gonna be maxing out perimeter defense, lateral quickness, steal, and defensive rebound, then have a 37 block. And that's gonna get you the bad setup that you see on the screen. Then when it comes to the height, weight, wingspan, body type is completely up to you. Height, now this is where I was telling you at the beginning of the video. If I didn't say this, now you know I am doing this in the metric system. When it comes to my builds, the thing that make my builds a lot different from a lot of people, this is the secret sauce. You gotta have the metric system. Ever since Nut put me on game on 20, I really ain't swayed away from this. Now at the beginning of the year, I stopped using it, but I'm back on that joint. Ever since I came back from next year, I've been back on that joint. So when it comes to the height that I'm gonna go with, I'm not gonna make the exact same way. I'm gonna show you guys how I would make it if I was making it today. So when it comes to the meters, I'm gonna end up going with 1.90 meters. That's going to just be the perfect height, so you can get your 3-pointer up, your dunk up still, your ball handle still gonna be up, while still being to be as fast as possible. Then when it comes to the weight, you're gonna just go down and weigh as much as you possibly can, so that you can get your speed, acceleration up as high as possible. So yeah, you're gonna just go down to 76 kilograms, which is gonna be the minimum weight. Then when it comes to the wingspan, now this is where you're gonna actually be able to see what your build is gonna look like at 95. So yeah, when it comes to the wingspan, I'm gonna actually make sure I get my wingspan perfectly. Now, depending on how you do your wingspan, if you go 208 centimeters, it's gonna give you lock take, where you're gonna get slasher, shot creator, playmaker, and lock take. But if you go down in wingspan 1, which is gonna be 206 centimeters, you're gonna get all those same takeovers, but instead of getting lock take, you're gonna get sharp take. So it's really up to you which one you rather. If you're gonna go with lock take, go with the other one. If you're gonna go with sharp take, go with this one. If you're not going with either one of those, just go based off what you think the attributes are gonna be better on. But I'm gonna go with the one that gets me sharp take. Now, when it comes to what the build looks like at 95, you're gonna have a 77 3-pointer, 81 drive and dunk, an 83 ball handle. The only real thing that you're really gonna be seeing on the screen that's gonna be really, really crazy is the fact that you're gonna already have the pro dribble moves. But when it comes to pretty much all the other things that's really important on this build, when it comes to things like the contact dunks, the 3-pointer threshold, you're not going to be at anything that you really want. So you really got to get this build to at least a 98 to really start to get the full dividends of this build. Because at 98, you now have an 83-pointer. At 98, you now have an 84 driving dunk. So now you have the pro contact dunks, not the elite and small, but you do have a contact dunk package. If you know, as soon as you get the contact dunk package, that's 20% chance of a contact dunk. No matter what you have on, whether it's slash or takeover, that's just the start of it. Now, if you have slash or takeover on top of that, it's going to be even more. If you have a contact finisher on top of that, it's gonna be even higher. So yeah, that's another thing to understand. And yeah, you got that 83-pointer threshold, which is gonna be allow you to reach a threshold that's really, really good and easy to shoot on. So yeah, then when it comes to reaching 99, now you have an 81 3-pointer, an 85 driving dunk. Now you're gonna be able to get all the contact dunks that you saw I had. So yeah. Then when it comes to the playmaking, you're going to be up to an 87 ball handle, a 85 steal, a 79 lateral quickness. You're going to be up to an 81 perimeter defense. Just pretty much going to be extremely similar to the build that I made. It's just not going to be the exact same in all way around. Now, I did find a build that was at 6'5", but you would be slower. You would only be at 86 speed. But with that being said, you still would have the pro dribble moves, but you would be, instead of an 81 3-pointer, you would now have an 82. So if you feel like that's just that big of a difference, that's up to you. If you want to add that higher 3-pointer. Now, like I said, there are other ways to make this build to be able to have a higher. Now, if you want to make the mid-range slasher, the floor spacing slasher, you're going to have an 84 or an 85 3-pointer. If you want to be able to do that, that's up to you. You just won't be able to have all the contact dunks. You'll have the pro, but you just won't be able to have them all. So it's really up to you on that. But yeah, this is the wingspan and the way I made my build. Then when it comes to the takeovers, like I said, I'm gonna go with the one that's gonna allow me to get sharp takeover because that's the takeover I want to go with. But I'm gonna go over what these takeovers are good for on this build. So if you go slash your takeover, people aren't gonna guard you at all on the 3-point line. So you're gonna have a lot of opportunities to get wide open threes. You go playmaker, same thing. People are really gonna leave you wide open in takeover, especially because they don't want to fall, and you're gonna get wide open threes. But another thing about playmaker takeover, it's pretty much gonna give all your teammates sharp take. So it depends on what you think is more overpowered. You having sharp take and just being unguardable with a build that can get contact dunks, can do dribble, all that, or helping your teammates just literally never miss again. It's really up to you. Shot creator, that's pretty much not an option. I'm gonna go with sharp take, but playmaker takeover makes it interesting. Slasher takeover is gonna make you do. You're gonna get an automatic points every single time if you go slasher takeover. Sharp takeover is another one that you get automatic points every single time because people gotta play so high, so you're still gonna be able to get the easy twos. And now it's gonna be way easy to hit the threes. So yeah, I am gonna go with sharp take. But if you want to be more of a team player, playmaker takeover, it has a case. But since I don't have sharp take, if I didn't have sharp take, I probably would go play take because that's the type of vibe I'm on right now. But yeah, sharp take is definitely the best one for this build. And the build comes out as a slasher build, similar to shades of Kevin Johnson, DeJounte Murray, Stephen Curry. So yeah, that's pretty much the build. I got y'all with the bad setup right here. So yeah, stay tuned. Alright, so hopping straight into it when it comes to the bad setup. Y'all know what's first things first. Now, I'm not going to be showing you guys from the build perspective. I'm showing you guys from what I have, what I use every single time I'm at the game, at the park, 5v5, whatever I'm playing. So I have 17 Badger grades. We have 4 Hall of Fame with 1 bronze. Like I said at the beginning, when it came to the pie chart, we're gonna get finishing Hall of Fame, and that's it. So we're gonna have contact finisher, sleeve finisher, showtime. Those are the big 3 for this build. Contact finisher, when you have the contact dunk package, that's 20% chance. Every single tier of contact finisher on top of that is 15%. So at bronze, that's 35% or 30% chance. No, it's 35% chance. Yeah, it's 35% chance because with the contact dunk package at 20%, I just confused myself. But yeah, it's 35% chance at bronze. At silver, it's 50%. At gold, it's 65%. And at Hall of Fame, like we have it, that's at 80%. And that's not even putting it into context if you have, you know what I'm saying, slasher takeover, if you're in takeover, what your driving dunk rating is. So yeah, it's a lot of things that could help it a lot. Like your teammates have floor general, all different type of stuff. So then when it comes to a badge like Slowly Finisher, I kind of went over this already, but this is going to get you the best animation possible for every single situation, but it's also going to cancel out the negatives of Contact Finisher. If you know about Contact Finisher, it's not just going to allow you to get contact dunks, it's going to pretty much make you do more contact layups, but it's also going to make you finish more contact layups. But when it comes to doing more contact layups, it's just going to be creating as much contact as possible. We have to negate that with Slowly Finisher, but Slowly Finisher is not just going to be doing that. It's going to get you the best animation possible, whether it's a layup or dunk. Rather, it's going to help your dunk frequency go up. It does that also. It does a lot of different things. So yeah, Slowly Finisher is extremely underrated. Then when it comes to Showtime is probably the most overpowered badge for the finishing category, because whenever you do a and one or a flashy dunk, it gives an added bonus to you and your teammates takeover. It does a bigger bonus to your teammate, and helping your teammates get takeover in like 4 dunks is extremely overpowered, and it helps you get team takeover and all different types of things. Then when it comes to Relentless Finisher is another badge that's really underrated. It's not as underrated as Slowly Finisher. Now you could go bronze Lob City Finisher with bronze Giant Slayer, but I don't really go for lobs a lot, so that's why I did it like how I have it. But yeah, Hall of Fame Relentless, that's gonna pretty much make you dunk more, lay up more, finish more contact dunks, finish more lobs, especially when fatigued. So yeah, that's really good, important badge, especially for me, especially for people that ISO. And this is an extremely good ISO build. So yeah. Then when it comes to Giant Slayer, that's going to pretty much negate the height advantage for any single situation. It's going to pretty much make the shot contest that much lower anytime you go to the rim. And if you do a layup, it's going to be way easier to make that. But also, the main part is going to be pretty much negating Rim Protector, where it makes it, you know how Rim Protector improves a blocking ability, this makes your build harder to get blocked. So if I had 3 more badges, the badge I would put the Hall of Fame next would be 100% Giant Slayer, especially with at the height I have this build. Alright, next. Now when it comes to the shooting badge setup for this build, I go a lot of different ways. Now for the last badge, I'm gonna go over that first. I go volume shooter, flexible release, catch and shoot, clutch shooter. Now I'm finna start using clutch shooter because, especially at the part, because after 14 it just makes a big boost too. Now if y'all didn't know, I've been on a legend account and I've been peeping game because he played the game a lot, so I'm looking gonna steal one from him and start using clutch shooter. But yeah, I like using bronze catch and shoot. I like using flexible release. 2K said flexible release is only for earlies, only for lates, only for very earlies, or only for very lates, but it also does affect slightly, and it does nothing to your green window. So people had said that it negatively affects your green window. People had said it does nothing on slighties, which is just not true. I've seen a significant boost in making whites when it comes to using that. So if you're a person that just shoots a lot of whites, flexible release is really good for you. Me personally, I don't really want to shoot whites, so that's just why I don't use that. Now when it comes to steady shooter, I even use that sometimes so I can green 100% contestants. Now I use that more on my playmaking shot creator because this build you don't really want the negative effects of steady shooter, but yeah, I do use it sometimes on this build too. Now difficult shots, I use that too sometimes, so it really just depends on what I'm going for. If I'm going for like fade, step backs and stuff like that on my hard flow, you know what I'm saying? It's just what it is. Now volume shooter, that's another badge kind of similar to Green Machine. The more shots you take, the more chance of making that next shot and the next shot and the next shot. Now Green Machine, if you know how that works, the more consecutive greens you get, the higher the green window is going to get, the higher the make percentage is going to get. So it's going to have a high chance of making that next shot even if you don't green, but it's going to have a really bigger green window every single time. Now Green Machine is not as overpowered as it was last year, but it still is good. Then when it comes to the other badges like Corner Specialist, Silver Corner Specialist is the best bang for your buck. Now Gold and Hall of Fame is better, but Silver is the best bang for your buck. If you know what that means, you know what it means. Now that's good for like fading towards the corner, whether it's the mid-range or 3, or just shooting towards the corner, whether it's a mid-range or 3. It's not just the corner for 3s, it's for the mid-range too. That's really why I use it, for mid-range, not for the corner. I don't ever really be in the corner unless I'm spotting up, and I don't really like spotting up with this build, to be honest with you. Then when it comes to a badge like Deadeye, that's going to pretty much negate the shot contest whenever somebody's trying to close out, even when they're trying to jump. It's going to be a lot easier for your build to be able to get open shots and get more greens, because the higher the contest, the smaller the green window is and stuff like that, and Deadeye just makes it that much easier to shoot on this build. Then when it comes to the 2 most important badges, Range Extender and Hydro Hunter, I feel like Hydro Hunter is probably the most important for builds like this that's not like play shots. Play shots is probably like Range Extender, but for builds like this, Hydro Hunter, where Range Extender doesn't really do as much like positives for it did last year for builds like this, where like if you had a lower 3-pointer shooting build, Range Extender would make you be able to shoot like so much better within your range. Now, range extender is going to extend your range and make it shoot within your range a lot more, but it's really going to have a bigger, it's also weighted based off like what your 3-point rating is, so based off the tier. And I'm at the 83-point threshold. Now, that's the first threshold, in my opinion, I feel like you can consistently. Now, at 75, you kind of can consistently, but at 80 for sure, you definitely can consistently shoot. So, yeah, range extender is a really good badge to pretty much extend your range, make it that much easier to shoot within your range. Now, when you get hot zones, it's going to be a lot easier to get greens, make more shots, but you get hot zone 100 on top of that, it's just going to become way easier to shoot, way easier to hit your shots, whether it's a white or a green, and it's going to be way easier to get greens. So yeah, that's the shooting badge setup I use with this build. Alright, next is going to be the playmaking badge setup for this build. When it comes to the playmaking badge setup for this build, I actually have 14 badge upgrades to work with. So we're going to go with 4 gold and 1 silver. Now, I'm putting y'all on game for this. I actually going to be going over this. I actually probably went over this already, but yeah, for video purposes, if I didn't, depending on which one I put out first, unpluckable silver is the best bang for your buck for unpluckable. Now, I had been using gold or Hall of Fame all year, depending on what I had max, but I feel like unpluckable is a good badge in this game. When it comes to bump steals, that's the real issue. When I put it to silver, I feel like I just don't get bump stolen nearly as much. I don't get nearly as many turnovers, so that's a big thing to be able to protect the ball as much as possible, especially as a PG build, especially as an ISO build. Then when it comes to quick first step, that's gonna make me speed boost or speed glitch as fast as possible. Speed boosting is incredibly terrible in this game. They nerfed it, and some reason they never nerfed speed glitching, but that's a topic for another day. Handlers for days is gonna cancel out the stamina issue in this game. Then when it comes to the last 6 badge upgrades, you can go floor general and dimer. Dimer especially, that's gonna help your teammates shoot off of catch and shoot situations, especially for an ISO build. That is actually a really good badge. Floor general is another good badge. It's gonna only help your teammates +3 to all the offensive attributes instead of +4 like Hall of Fame would, and you're not gonna be the percentages, but that's still a big help. You just never know. But yeah, I'm gonna go with ankle breaker because that's the most overpowered badge in the game. That's not debatable. Anytime you make somebody go the wrong way, it's just extremely broken. It's gonna make them pretty much get in the animation, and the higher till you have it, the longer the animation. Neither threader is extremely important to have as an ISO player. That's how you throw the fastest and the hardest passes to be stolen. So yeah, neither threader is just extremely important, and that's the badge setup I have for the playmaking badge setup with this build. And last but not least, before we end off this video, is going to be the defensive rebound badge setup. Now, when it comes to my legend, I can't wait to show y'all. But yeah, that build is crazy. Now, for this is kind of the same thing I always do: bronze, bronze, bronze with a gold. Now, a lot of people don't do this. They just go with gold clamps or gold pick dodger or gold interceptor or gold intimidator. Now, me personally, if you know me, on all my builds, I don't go above bronze intimidator. That's just me. It's just, I don't see the difference, and you definitely have to have it on at least bronze, but yeah, I just don't go past it. It's just me. That's just a personal preference. Clamps, if you don't have Hall of Fame, me personally, I don't see the point of going above bronze. Now, if you just have a lot of badge grades like my legend one, you know what I'm saying, you can go gold. Now, are you gonna get better bumps? Yes, but like people still can just blow by you just as easily as silver, just as easily as bronze. You just don't get better bumps. Maybe you make them pick up the dribble more. That's just how I feel about it. But yeah, if I have Hall of Fame, it's locked, but this build doesn't get Hall of Fame, so there's no point. Then when it comes to pick dodge, you have to have that badge on just to be able to negate like the iron wall badge at the park, so you can get that, like, it's something at the park, it's called Screen Crusher or something like that, that negates iron wall at the park. You don't want to be getting knocked on your ass and stuff like that. And if you don't have pick dodger on, like, people can do like moving screens on you a lot and they don't call it. So yeah, I definitely have that on at least bronze at all times. And the interceptors, that's gonna pretty much give me more tip passes, make me that much better on passing lanes. And a lot of times I'm in the corner. I play with 2 P locks all the time. And when I say P locks, perimeter lockdowns, 2 lockdowns that can really shoot and really stick defense. So yeah, I'm most likely in the corner, and the only thing I really gotta do is play passing lane, help sometimes in the paint. But yeah, I really do my role perfectly with this badge setup. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if you guys want more videos like this, I can do the slash and playmaker, the playmaking shot creator, the glass screen finisher. I do have legend build gameplay videos coming extremely soon, especially for this build, but I don't know which one y'all want more, the slash and playmaker one or this one. I feel like the slash and playmaker one would do more, but I just don't know. So I'm gonna figure that out on my own time. Put in the comments down below if you made it this far, which one you rather, slash and playmaker or the slasher for the legend, the first legend build video. Just let me know, and I will be doing gameplay in that. I was gonna do gameplay. If you guys want me to do gameplay in these like build with animations and showing you guys everything that I have on my build, all you gotta do is smash, break, and destroy the like button. Subscribe new. We on the road to 100K. We damn near at 100K. At 100K, bro. Like, we almost 1K away from hitting 100K. You don't understand how crazy that is to even think about for me. Now, like I said, like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, be the first to every single my video. Share this video to anybody you think this will help. And yeah, man, it's your boy Fitz, man, and I'm about to be, man.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Yeah. Hey, hey, niggas ain't gotta respect, niggas just gotta accept. I put that top left, I love my Crody to death. Hype Williams, Lil X, if you don't say it direct, give a fuck. Yeah, yeah. I put some ice on her hand.
Alright, before we go too far into this video, I want to make sure to go over this. Now, we were at 4.2%. We're all the way up to 9.7%. But still, 90% of y'all that are watching my videos aren't even subscribed. I know y'all mess with the videos. We finna be going so crazy, so you might as well hit that sub button. It's that simple.